Hello, you brooding bastards, and welcome to my so-called show. Last month, I talked about 2005's Batman Begins, the film that brought Batman back from the brink of bat nipples, and this.
Cold, freeze, cold, freeze, cold, frozen ice.
But before Batman and Robin turned Batman into a camp joke for 8 years, we also had Batman Forever, which was a reaction to the grim, visually nightmarish Batman Returns that had killjoy mums scratching their heads over why McDonald's would even market something so insane. No, seriously, McDonald's actually promoted Batman Returns. Imagine tucking into your Happy Meal while playing with a toy from a movie that had this.
The second time I saw it, when I saw the younger kids, I really wanted to tell them not to see this. It's really scary.
Oh, shut up, you tart!
God, I miss the 90s. And with the tragic death of Val Kilmer this year, it also seemed necessary to talk about the film that introduced me to him. But was Batman Forever truly the beginning of the end of this Batman universe? Or is it not as bad as people made it out to be? Well, slutty shrink ladies and black-clad gentlemen, let's take a look at Batman Forever. Released on this day in 1995, Batman Forever sees Batman/Bruce Wayne, played by Val Kilmer, out to stop former DA Harvey Dent, played by Tommy Lee Jones, and not Billy D. Williams for some reason, who after a terrible facial disfigurement has become the villainous Two-Face. And worse, Wayne has been sent cryptic messages from an obsessive employee named Edward Nigma, played by Jim Carrey, who is bitter over Wayne rejecting his brainwave contraption.
Tampering with people's brainwaves, mind manipulation. It just raises too many questions. So,
You were supposed to understand. I'll make you understand.
And to find out who's sending those weird riddles, Bruce meets up with Dr. Chase Meridian, played by a younger, less plastic-looking Nicole Kidman, which then leads to him pulling her and taking her out to the circus. Oh, Brucey, you smooth operator. But the date turns out to be a disaster, as Two-Face proves to be the worst cock blocker ever by threatening to blow the place up with a bomb, unless Batman shows up.
What a wanker.
Bruce attempts to put a stop to it, and even though the youngest son of the trapeze artists, Dick Grayson, disposes of the device, the rest of the Graysons are murdered by Two-Face.
Son of a bitch must pay.
Edward Nigma watches the whole thing on TV and decides to become
The Riddler.
He then breaks into Two-Face's lair and convinces him to join forces and commit enough crimes to fund his brainwave device, which later proves to be successful. Wayne takes in Dick Grayson despite the fact he's a fucking grown man, but with Two-Face and the Riddler taking over the minds of the people of Gotham, Dick seeking revenge against Two-Face, Dr. Chase distracting him by being a saucy little minx, as well as Commissioner Gordon being useless. Can Batman save the people of Gotham, as well as his credibility after lines like this?
Can I persuade you to take a sandwich with you, sir?
I'll get drive-through.
Ah, you cunt!
Batman Forever is a mixed bag, but let's start with the good. On the one hand, it does a pretty good job taking the duality of the Dark Knight seriously, as well as Dick Grayson's loss. Val Kilmer actually does a good job as Bruce Wayne. He captures the repressed trauma, the guilt of the orphan millionaire convincingly. He plays the winged rodent with enough dark, brooding stoicism to do the character justice. Chris O'Donnell is actually okay as Dick Grayson. Nothing special. Okay, he looks way too old to be playing an orphan teen, but he does sell the anger and loss the character is going through. In fact, the scenes with Bruce trying to talk Dick out of seeking revenge are actually very powerful.
So you're willing to take a life?
As long as it's Two-Face.
Then it will happen this way. You make the kill. But your pain doesn't die with Harvey, it grows. So you run out into the night to find another face. And another. And another. Until one terrible morning you wake up and realize that revenge has become your whole life. And you won't know why.
You can't understand. Your family wasn't killed by a maniac.
Yes, they were.
And Michael Gough is still great as Alfred. Come on, how can you not love him?
Broken wings mend in time. One day Robin will fly again.
There's some decent action, and the score by Elias Goldenthal is actually pretty cool. It's got that feel of adventure and mystery, but sadly the cons outweigh the pros, as for some reason Joel Schumacher really had to overindulge the Dutch angles, and God, do I hate it when a movie constantly overuses the Dutch angles. For fuck's sake, it's up there with overusing Pedro Pascal. And I don't mind when Dutch angles are used sparingly. They can be used effectively to establish when something is off, like in 12 Monkeys, when it's used to keep you wondering if Bruce Willis's character is insane. But God, when it's constantly used all the time, it comes off like the director is trying to come across as the next pioneer of filmmaking.
Stop it.
And speaking of the director, Joel Schumacher should have been the ideal director. When you look at his back catalogue before this, he showed he could do the dark and gritty, as well as the psychological. But instead we get hammy acting, obnoxious glow stick gangs, and fucking bat nipples.
Oh my.
I remember the gothic industrial architectural nightmare in the Burton movies, which helped establish the dark, murky, crime-ridden world of Gotham City. Well, we have squeaky clean neon-lit structures, and as much as I appreciate the hard work these people put in, it really feels inconsistent to what Burton brought to life. Nicole Kidman is just horny, and she's given nothing to work with. Not once does she come across as a credible psychologist. She spends more time wanting for Batman to drive his Batmobile into her fucking Batcave.
Oh my.
But man, she was hot back in the day. Chris O'Donnell, while starting off okay, becomes fucking useless once he becomes Robin. And both Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey are absolutely fucking retarded as Two-Face and the Riddler. Remember when Harvey Dent was a tragic figure who started off as a likeable, charismatic, kind-hearted, altruistic man whose unfortunate disfigurement traumatized him and unleashed a psychotic second personality that Bruce Wayne desperately tried to help him with? Well, he's just a two-dimensional, cackling madman. Oh yeah, wasn't he a black man in the first movie?
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
If you're gonna recast him, make sure the actor is the same fucking colour. And it's a shame, as Tommy Lee Jones is actually well cast for the role, but it's like someone told him, just be crazy. It could also be that he was trying to out-overact Jim Carrey, who was flavour of the month back then, and Tommy Lee Jones was obviously not too fond of him, as told by Jim Carrey here.
That's what Tommy Lee Jones said to me, too. He said he couldn't sanction my buffoonery.
He couldn't?
He couldn't sanction my buffoonery.
What movie is this?
And that's when we did Batman together.
Wait, you're the star, though.
I was the star, yeah. That was the problem.
I mean, for fuck's sake, even William Shatner played the character more accurately in the animated spin-off to the goofy 60s Batman. It's a stupid, inconsistent performance that belongs somewhere else. Jim Carrey's performance is stupid, but I can't help but cut him some slack, as it is not his Jim Carrey, and plus his character had more layers.
Really?
Especially with his obsession with Bruce Wayne, where he hates him to the point he can't help but imitate him. And you could make the argument his interpretation is more closer to Frank Gorshin's performance in the original 60s Batman TV show. But still, both performances are way too goofy to be taken seriously, and yet Jack Nicholson's Joker and Danny DeVito's Penguin could be goofy at times, but they still felt threatening when they needed to. Also, who the fuck edited Harvey Dent's accident at Maroni's trial? How did Batman get in the courtroom without no one noticing? Why is Batman posing on the cover of a magazine? Why are we showing Batman bat-ass? I don't know, it's stupid. But I don't really hate it, as it does at least come across like it's trying to take the character seriously, unlike... And I do like the plot revolving around Nigma's brainwave device feeding him credit card numbers and,
Sexual fantasies and little white lies.
So overall, despite a couple of decent performances, some cool moments, this is an inferior, obnoxious mess to a franchise that had so much potential, pandering more to the suits than the fans, which would later lead to Warner Brothers dropping a big neon-lit tear on the franchise. And whether you beautiful bastards are Northern English or not, thanks for watching, and do remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and ring that bell in order to be notified. And if you wish to further support this channel, then the links are in the description below. But right now, that's me done, and I'm off to the pub.